Hi everyone, I'm Joseph and I'll be presenting our paper entitled Automatic Readability Assessment for Closely Related Languages, which is a long findings paper. So first, we motivate this research by asking the question, how can we improve the performance of readability assessment models in low-resource Philippine languages? We are motivated by the fact that in automatic readability assessment, most of the languages used in research are obviously English because of its high availability of the data set used, as well as there is a trend in the research community where deep learning and complex neural architectures are commonly the go-to approach for solving this specific task. But we want to take this to another level by stepping back from these solutions and going with the data-centric approach by looking at how different languages interact with each other. And of course, we also want to increase the work done for low resource languages like Philippine languages. So since we cannot use neural based architectures because they require a sufficient amount of data which is not applicable for Philippine languages due to being low resourceness, we ask the question, can we exploit high language relatedness to alleviate the data scarcity problem in building these readability assessment models? So we looked at two different measures. The first one would be n-gram overlap with bigrams and trigrams, and we compare this with English. So we focus on three different languages in the Philippines, which are Tagalog, Bicol, and Cebuano. And for n-gram overlap, we see a significant high similarity with these three languages compared to very low overlap with English. And for the second one, we have the genetic distance. And we echo the same observation where for the languages within the Philippines, they are closely related to each other compared to the ones with English as a comparison. So most of the languages in the Philippines are in the category of highly related languages and related languages, while for English, it's classified as very remotely related and no recognizable relationship. So with inspired by that, inspired by having a quantitative proof that languages in the Philippines are of high relatedness, we devised a very simple but novel feature for readability assessment, which has not been done before, and we call this as cross-lingual n-gram overlap or cross-NGO. So we apply this calculation for both bigrams and trigrams by extracting the top 25% bigrams and trigrams for Tagalog and Bicol and Cebuano. And this is simply, again, just the overlap for each language normalized by the number of unique n-grams or bigrams and trigrams for each data instance. And we couldn't have done this research without the kindness of different open source literary websites such as Let's Read Asia, Bloom Library, Adarna House, and DepEd. So the datasets that we use come from them, especially for the languages of Bicol and Cebuano. So we are simply going to highlight a summary of the results, which we highly encourage you to read from the paper. So first, we find out that cross-NGO added with handcrafted features such as surface-based features, for example, word length, sentence length, and so on, achieves significantly better performance compared to using mbert embeddings, which is the kind of like a inferior substitute when doing a multilingual approach to NLP tasks. And the second one, we see that an inclusion of another closely related language, for example, if you combine Tagalog and Cebuano or Tagalog and Bicol, reduces model confusion and kind of increases the accuracy and performances of the models quite a bit, but we find this to be significant. And the last one is we see that fine-tuning LLMs like MBERT does not outperform models that still use traditional features with cross-lingual n-gram overlap. So with this task, we recommend that you still go back to using models that use linguistic features such as word length and sentence length and so on for approximating the readability. So again, more details in our paper, and questions are welcome in the chat instance of this paper, or you can send us an email as seen in the screen.